All right, welcome back. My name is Dave. This is the Radical Independent. Thanks for listening, both on YouTube and over on Rockfin. Florida middle school kept trans teacher in classroom despite threats to shoot students. That's the headline coming from Zero Hedge. In the wake of the Covenant school shooter being identified as a female to male transgender individual, trans activists across the nation galvanized in order to disavow the idea that Audrey Hale's gender identity provided any motive for the shooting. From planning a Transgender Day of Vengeance in Washington, D.C., to marching upon the State House in Nashville, trans rights activists sought to discredit the idea that someone's gender identity could somehow be linked to the type of mental illness it would take for someone to shoot up a school filled with innocent children. Unfortunately for them, one transgender teacher in Florida has done their best to undermine that effort altogether. Just days before the Covenant school shooting, a teacher at the Fox Chapel Middle School in Hernando County, Florida, made threatening remarks about students to the school's vice principal. Teacher in question was born Alexander Renkowski, but has taken the pseudonym Ashley following his transition as a male to female transgender individual. According to an incident report filed by a school resource officer, the middle school's assistant principal, Carrie Thornton, along with guidance counselor Kimberly Wall, had contacted law enforcement regarding the teacher's remarks made to the former of the two administrators about bad thoughts, including harming themselves and shooting students. This is just absolutely crazy. And this obviously was allowed to go on for quite some time. Upon review of the incident report, the school's district mental health coordinator deemed that the teacher under investigation could not be involuntarily institutionalized under the parameters of the Baker Act, a Florida law that provides such recourse. Nevertheless, the Hernando County Sheriff's Office, which responded to the school administration's report and also employs the teacher's brother, petitioned for a risk protection order, which was granted shortly thereafter. The sheriff's office then confiscated 3 firearms and ammunition from the teacher's home under the conditions of the order, which also bars Ronkowski from possessing any firearm for up to a year until the RPO expires. Here's how that report went down on Fox 13.
Tonight, we are learning now that a judge has granted a risk protection order in the case of the Hernando County teacher who the school district said made concerning comments. The sheriff tells Fox 13 deputies confiscated guns from her home. And last night, the district said there was no imminent threat, remember. But if you saw her story last night, you know some parents were furious that she was not fired. Let's bring in Fox 13's Jordan Bowen, who also brought us his story last night. Big update tonight, Jordan. I know you just got the incident report. Tell us what it says. This teacher made the comments to another staff member at the school, correct?
Yeah, that's right, Mark. According to the incident report from the sheriff's office, the teacher in question, who Fox 13 is choosing not to name since she has not been charged, told the Fox Chapel Middle School assistant principal she was, quote, having bad thoughts and, quote, wanted to shoot some students. Parents we spoke with say until the teacher is fired, they don't feel safe sending their kids back to school. This incident report obtained by the group Moms for Liberty details what happened at Fox Chapel Middle School back on March 24th. In the report, the school resource officer says the assistant principal told him a teacher made, quote, concerning comments about self-harm and, quote, shooting students. When the assistant principal visited the teacher's classroom, the teacher told her she was, quote, having bad thoughts. Later, the teacher in question told the guidance counselor she was upset because she, quote, learned about a social media post where people were talking negatively about her sexual orientation. She also told the counselor she, quote, has suicidal thoughts, 3 handguns at home, and that she, quote, wanted to shoot some students due to them not performing to their ability.
My heart dropped the moment that I heard that it was confirmed that there was actual weapons inside of the household.
The report goes on to say after the teacher made the comments about wanting to shoot students, she, quote, immediately stated she would never harm a student and, quote, stated that she does not want to harm herself.
Anybody that makes a comment like that should not be working in a school. If a student had made that comment, there'd be charges pressed, the child would be expelled.
The Hernando County Sheriff's Office confirmed to Fox 13 a judge granted a permanent risk protection order the same day, saying that 3 handguns and ammunition were removed from the teacher's home. In a statement emailed to Fox 13 late Wednesday, a Hernando County School District spokesperson says, quote, what the report shows is that a team of professionals made up of school, district, and law enforcement personnel followed all steps of the district's threat assessment protocol to ensure this teacher was no danger to themselves or others. And the teacher was cleared to return to the classroom there at Fox Chapel Middle School a few days ago. We did make attempts to reach her for comment on this story, but our calls went unanswered. As for the risk protection order, that expires in 1 year. And as for parents, like we said, like Rosario, he says until this teacher is fired, he just doesn't feel safe sending his kids back to school.
Yeah, sounds like they're not alone for sure. Jordan Boyne, thanks very much.
Wow. All right. So yet, in spite of the risk protection order being granted, Renkowski was able to return to the classroom the next day. In fact, it took a report written by a local journalist named Tom Lemons to bring the incident to the attention of parents. School officials chose not to even notify the parents of the incident. As being a dad of a 9-year-old, I'm absolutely horrified by this. The negligence of the school in alerting parents was part of a larger pattern of obfuscating Renkowski's actions. When asked to confirm sources cited by R News, which employs Lemons, they were told by the school district public information officer, Karen Jordan, that I cannot speak to your source, but your information is not correct. So they're basically denying that the information, which was just reported on by Fox 13, was correct. That response to the public information request raised doubt in the wake of conflicting reports as to whether or not Renkowski did indeed have firearms. However, a media release by the Hernando County Sheriff's Office removed any doubt by confirming that Renkowski cooperated with law enforcement and immediately turned over all firearms. So Renkowski obviously had firearms. While the Florida Department of Education confirmed the removal of Renkowski from the middle school, it didn't remark upon any intent to take action against his teaching license. As such, it is unclear if and when Renkowski will be eligible to resume a career as a teacher. Apparently, they finally got rid of this teacher. Earlier this week, the department was informed of a situation. Wednesday evening, only then did the district remove the teacher from the school, effectively on Thursday. So this teacher was removed by the school district. The failure to act in the best interest of students demonstrates the proverbial powder keg that school districts across the nation are fighting against when it comes to an advancing transgender ideology. While school administrators supporting that initiative reject the idea that promoting transgenderism can pose a threat to students, Renkowski provides a powerful example for those who unequivocally reject that sentiment. So maybe something terrible was prevented here. This is just the beginning. That's the way I look at things. My name is Dave. Thanks for listening.